Hybrid vehicles have been changing over the past few years, with their fuel efficiency not being as prominent of a focus as it once was. Instead, they have been adapted to serve various purposes, particularly in terms of performance. However, Toyota has stuck with their commitment of enhancing the fuel efficiency of its hybrids, and this is evident in the 2025 Toyota Prius Limited. As crossovers have gained increasing popularity, the question arises, is the Prius still a good option for an affordable economy car? Let's go ahead and find out. Let's begin with the pricing and the trim level. The Prius comes in 4 different trim options known as the LE, XLE, Limited, and Nightshade. We have the Limited model today with front-wheel drive. This one comes in at around $36,000, and considering what you get on the inside for that price, I think that is pretty good. Let's go ahead and see if that's the best $36,000 you can spend inside the Toyota lineup. The exterior design is going to be pretty simple. There's going to be a small vent at the top and a larger vent at the bottom and a designated license plate holder. The headlights are going to be completely LED. You get an LED daytime running light, an LED projector style headlamp, and you get an LED turn signal. Fog lights are going to be integrated at the bottom. Moving to the wheels, you get these very nice looking 19-inch machined alloy wheels. They look so nice against the side of the Prius, and I would not expect these at all on the side of a $36,000 vehicle. And they have a very similar design to the Crown's wheels, which is a pretty big deal considering how expensive the Crown is. Moving on to the side profile, you're going to find this matte black trim around the windows and a hidden door handle. Mirrors are going to have heating and blind spot monitoring, which is completely fine because this is once again only $36,000. The backs of the mirrors are going to be in black. Moving around to the back, you're going to find a gray diffuser and reverse lights at the bottom, Prius branding, Limited branding, and you will notice that you do not have a rear wiper anymore. You get a light bar at the back that goes all the way across and fully LED taillights. That means you get an LED brake light, an LED reverse light at the bottom, and an LED turn signal. This is nice to see because the more expensive sibling, the Camry, does not have an LED reverse light or an LED turn signal. Now let's move on to the interior and see what $36,000 is going to get you on the inside of the Prius. There is not much to expect because this is once again only $36,000, but you will be surprised at how many features you get on the inside. The door panel is going to be pretty simple. There's soft touch plastic on the upper part, leather on your armrest, memory seats, all of your buttons are going to be in matte black plastic, and you get a bottle holder and some storage at the bottom. There's also going to be a plastic speaker grill, and the seats are going to be made of real leather and some silver piping. This is going to be in the gray color, and I think it looks quite nice, and you'll get 8 ways of power adjusting on the driver's side and manual adjusting for the passenger side. To the left of the steering wheel is going to be a release for your gas tank and your trunk, your auto hyping control, your windshield deicer control, and your heated steering wheel button. If you are looking for the traditional interior design of a Toyota, you are not going to find it in the Prius, because the Prius's interior design is more like the BZ4X. Starting with the steering wheel, you're going to find a very nice leather-wrapped and heated steering wheel, and all your buttons are going to be in matte plastic. The gauge cluster is going to be way far back, and I actually don't like this design at all. First of all, it's not very big. The screen itself is not that big compared to other Toyotas. There is a good amount of customization because you can show what different information is displayed, but the bad thing about this display is that first of all, it doesn't look very good, and second of all, the steering wheel is probably going to block it. This is from my point of view. You can't see half of it, and you can adjust the steering wheel manually, but this is how far the steering wheel is willing to go down, and this is probably not the best comfortable steering wheel position for all people. Moving on from that, you're going to find leatherette on your dash, some faux carbon fiber, very nice ambient lighting, and you'll find a lot of gloss black down here. As far as storage is concerned, you are going to be satisfied in the Prius. You get a cubby right here, and if you lift it up, there's going to be a hidden compartment. There are 2 cup holders right behind that, and they will fit a good sized bottle. Your wireless phone charger is going to be located right here to save space. And I like that it's not so deep where you might have to stick your phone up and down, because you can still reach in there in case you drop something like a pen or your car keys. In the center console, you're going to find a reasonable sized center console with 2 USB-C ports and felt lining. The climate controls are going to be completely physical for 2025. You're going to find heated and ventilated seats. You're also going to find 1 zone of climate control on the Prius. That is kind of disappointing. You're also going to find your fan speed right here, your mode selection right there, and then you can use the infotainment system if you choose. I don't think this is the ideal option because Toyota didn't really design it to be used this way, so it's not going to be the most intuitive. Speaking of the infotainment system, you're going to get Toyota's latest audio multimedia infotainment system on the Prius. This is going to be run through a 12.3-inch screen, and you're going to get wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. You do have to pay a monthly subscription for navigation. You're also going to be able to do things like view your energy flow, and if you don't like the beep noise that it makes, you can easily turn that off. The shifter is going to be located down here. To go into drive, you're going to push over to the left and go down. And for reverse, you're going to push over to the left and go up. That's going to bring up a very high resolution backup camera with active trajectory. You also get a 360-degree view, and you can change the color of the car if you want. There's also going to be a camera washer in case you go on a dirt road. Not recommended in a Prius. Also, when you go into drive, that's going to bring up a front view. And the nice thing is that it will actually show you what's underneath the car. Not that you would go off-roading in it, but in case there is some spilled coffee in front of you, you might want to see that before you run it over. Up top, there's going to be a digital rearview mirror, and there are going to be 2 sunroofs, one for the front and one for the back. Now let's move on to the passenger side and see if the passenger gets to enjoy as many amenities as the driver does. The door panel is going to be basically the same in all black with some leather and matte black plastic. The seats are going to be made of the same leather and they'll have silver piping and stitching, but they are going to be 4-way manual adjusting. On the passenger side, you get some full aluminum trim, some leatherettes, and ambient lighting, so it's going to look pretty good overall. You also get USB-C ports, access to the compartments, and you also get heated and ventilated seats. In the glove box, there's going to be an adequate amount of space. It doesn't have the shelves like the other Toyota products do, but I think this is going to be enough for most Prius drivers. Of course, at the top, you're going to find these really cool lights. Now let's move on to the rear seats. The door panel is going to be in all black just like the front, and you get a leather armrest and a bottle holder at the bottom. The seats are going to feel a little bit upright, but the padding is pretty soft and they will be made of real leather. They will be elevated a bit because this is a hybrid. There is an adequate amount of knee room considering how small this vehicle is, but the sloping roof is going to compromise the headroom. There isn't a seat back pocket on the back of the driver's side, but there will be on the back of the passenger side. Additionally, the outboard seats are going to be heated and you get USB-C ports at the bottom. The middle seat is going to fold down for a pretty comfortable armrest and 2 cup holders. Overall, I would say that you get a pretty good amount of amenities in the back seat of the Prius. Just don't stick tall people back here because there isn't enough headroom. Believe it or not, the Prius actually has a feature that no other Toyota sedan except for the Crown Platinum has, and that feature is the power tailgates. This is a hatchback and you get a power tailgate, which is a first for the Prius. I don't know if this is standard across the lineup, but this is definitely very nice to have. In the back, you're going to find about 24 cubic feet of space with the seats up. I would say that is pretty good because this is about the same size as a Corolla. The loading floor is a bit high because this is once again a hybrid. There are cubbies on both sides in case you want some of your cargo to be separated. This is what a box full of floor mats looks like in the back of the Prius. That is pretty good because that is not a small box by any means. You can fold down the seats 60-40 to get 50 cubic feet of space. You have to go around to the doors and fold them down yourself because there are no latches in the back to do so. I would say that you get a lot of space in the back of the Prius, much more than a traditional sedan. In fact, this is the most space you can get out of the trunk of any Toyota sedan, and that is saying something because this is not a large vehicle. The crown is over a foot longer and it still has only 15 cubic feet of space. Now let's take a look at what's powering the Prius. Under the hood is a 2-liter 4-cylinder engine paired with 2 electric motors. That makes a combined 196 horsepower and 139 pound-feet of torque. All of that is mated to a CVT transmission, and with front-wheel drive like we have today, you get 52 miles per gallon in the city, highway, and combines. That will go down to 49 if you choose all-wheel drive. The 0 to 60 time is not phenomenal at 7.7 seconds. I will take that, however, over the last generation's 10.3 seconds. For more power and crazy fuel efficiency, the Prius Prime with a plug-in hybrid powertrain is also available. Let's take a look at the acceleration test. This is something I don't include very often, but we are going to look at the advanced parking system in the Prius. This is something you are not going to need all the time because it is so easy to park this car. This feature is in some higher-end Lexus products like the RX and TX that cost over $60,000, and the only other Toyota that has this is the Crown Platinum at $55,000. And here we are with the Toyota Prius Limited at $36,000, officially the cheapest Toyota/Lexus product to have this feature. Now let's talk competition. When you buy a Prius, you really don't think about the other competitors, but there is one that comes to mind, the Honda Civic Hatchback Hybrid. The Prius is a hatchback and the Prius is also hybrid, so I think it makes the most sense. They are also around the same price and the same size. I would say that the Prius is better in most ways, but the Honda Civic Hatchback has more of a cool factor. The Prius is not a large vehicle at 181 inches long and 70 inches wide. Well, that is going to wrap up today's video on this 2025 Toyota Prius Limited. The Prius has never been a cool car, but I feel like Toyota is making some improvements. For $36,000, you get a lot of nice features on the inside. You get heated and ventilated seats, a heated steering wheel, ambient lighting, heated seats in the back, 2 sunroofs, and advanced park. Even with all of that, I would still find myself going for a Camry or Crown because they both have more space, a faster powertrain, and they are overall nicer to drive. What do you guys think? Is the Prius a better sedan than all of those other ones? Leave your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.